In the summer of 1876, on the rolling hills above the Little Bighorn River in what is now southeastern Montana, two worlds collided. One was the relentless push of the United States toward its western frontier. The other, the determined resistance of the Lakota Sioux, Northern Cheyenne, and Arapaho nations defending their way of life. The result was one of the most storied and misunderstood battles in American history, Custer's last stand. By the 1870s, the American frontier was closing fast. The transcontinental railroad had linked the coasts, settlers flooded the Great Plains, and the U.S. government sought to confine native nations to reservations. The Fort Laramie Treaty of 1868 had guaranteed the Lakota the Great Sioux Reservation, including their sacred Black Hills. But then, in 1874, gold was discovered. Prospectors poured in, and Washington's promises evaporated. When the Lakota and their allies refused to sell the Black Hills, the U.S. government labeled them hostile. The Army was ordered to force them onto reservations. By the spring of 1876, George Armstrong Custer was a man of contradictions, a daring Civil War hero who rose to general at just 23, and a man whose vanity and impulsiveness were legendary. To some, he was the embodiment of frontier heroism. To others, reckless and hungry for glory. In 1876, Custer commanded the 7th U.S. Cavalry. He was 36 years old, ambitious, controversial, and eager for redemption after political setbacks. Leading the Army's advance into the heart of Lakota territory, Custer saw an opportunity. One decisive victory could restore his fading star. Facing him were leaders whose names would echo through history. Sitting Bull, the Hunkpapa Lakota holy man, had envisioned a great victory in a powerful sun dance ceremony weeks before. Crazy Horse, the Oglala war leader, was a brilliant tactician, fearless and unpredictable. By June 1876, more than 7,000 native people, men, women, and children, had gathered along the Little Bighorn River. Their encampment stretched for miles, a temporary city united in defiance of forced removal. 3 Army columns moved toward the Little Bighorn in a coordinated campaign. From the south came General Alfred Terry, accompanied by Custer's 7th Cavalry. From the west, Colonel John Gibbon, and from the south, General George Crook. But the plan unraveled. On June 17th, Crook's forces were surprised and driven back at the Battle of the Rosebud by Crazy Horse's warriors. Crook withdrew and never informed Terry or Custer. Unaware of Crook's retreat, Custer pressed on. Early on June 25th, scouts reported a large village ahead. Custer feared the encampment might scatter before he could strike. He chose to attack immediately. Custer divided his 600 men into 3 battalions. Major Marcus Reno would attack the southern end of the village. Captain Frederick Benteen would move west to block escape routes. Custer himself, with about 210 men, swung north, planning to strike the camp's flank. At midday, Reno's men charged into the village, but they were quickly overwhelmed by thousands of warriors. Under heavy fire, Reno's attack collapsed into chaos. His men retreated across the river to a wooded bluff, shaken and bloodied. Custer, meanwhile, had ridden north, perhaps expecting Reno to hold. He encountered something else entirely: the full force of the Lakota and Cheyenne resistance. Hundreds of warriors swarmed his isolated battalion. Firing positions on the ridges offered little cover. Ammunition ran low. Within an hour, Custer's command was surrounded and annihilated. Not a single soldier under his direct command survived. For nearly 2 days, Reno and Benteen's combined forces held out on the bluffs above the river. They endured fierce attacks, scorching heat, and dwindling supplies, unaware that Custer was already gone. On June 27th, General Terry's column finally reached the battlefield. What they found shocked the nation. Custer and his men lay scattered across the ridges, stripped, scalped, their bodies left under the open sky. The defeat was total. The Battle of the Little Bighorn was the greatest Native American victory over U.S. forces, but it was also fleeting. Within a year, relentless military campaigns forced the Lakota and Cheyenne to surrender. The Black Hills were seized. The reservation system tightened its grip. In American memory, Custer's last stand became legend, immortalized in paintings, dime novels, and films. Custer was portrayed as a martyr, a frontier hero who fell to overwhelming odds. For the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho, it was something else, a triumph born of unity, courage, and defense of their homeland. A rare, brief moment when the tide turned, if only for a day. Today, the hills above the Little Bighorn are quiet. Grasses sway where gunfire once echoed. White headstones mark where Custer's men fell. Red granite markers honor the native warriors who fought to defend their world. It is a place of memory, of two nations colliding at a crossroads of history.